What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bill's World. I, of course, am Justice General Radford, and as always, I'm here with the legend in two games, no Pee-wee, Coach Muki Hawkins in the building. Hey, vote for Muki, all right?
Me?
Yeah, vote for Muki. What's going on,
I
Coach?
guess that's my get out the vote campaign.
Yes, sir.
My right hand guy right here on the left hand side. All right, so yeah, go vote for Muki, man. School board and all that good stuff. Make a difference for the kids. But let's see how we can make a difference with this Bills team going into training camp.
We'll need a difference because we want a different result at the end of the season.
Yes.
Right? We want to see a Super Bowl win. Last year was a year that was a little weird, right? Nobody really had great expectations of the Bills, but then they went and did great things, and then it was like, oh, you don't have enough. So it's a little weird, but this season, I feel like we have more of an identity, you know what I mean? Especially in the AFC East, which we'll talk about today. Who is the competitor? Who is the team that can give the Bills a run for their money this season? I mean, Coach, what?
I was looking at a stat 5 years ago and how it had the overall record of the AFC East. Like at that point in time, New England had like 120-something wins, and the Bills were second with 70-something.
Oh, this is all time.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm looking at that. I'm thinking like, okay, did the Bills pass New England right now for the most
You might
wins in the
have
AFC East? At this point, and that was 5 years ago. That was like a 5 year ago memory.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fast forward now, has the Bills caught up with the New England Patriots in reference to most wins?
If you just give the
in
Bills an average of
division.
10 wins a season, that's 50 wins right there, and we know they had more than that on
Right.
average. So, maybe.
Yeah, we need to check that
Maybe.
stat. We definitely need to check
It
that
could be.
stat. And that's why I say, where we are, because, at one point in time, hey, this was New England's division.
Yeah.
This was definitely New England. First, it was the Bills, then it was New England. Now it's back to Buffalo again. So we want to see, did the Bills were able to close that gap? And, with a guy, by QB1,
The
a.k.a.
Dolphins-
Josh Allen.
The Dolphins had a couple of weeks.
Just a couple of weeks. In
Couple
the
of
summertime, too, because after September, they,
They had the AFC champions
yeah,
after
the
that.
Dolphins, they go find somewhere to hide.
Looking at the AFC as it's currently constructed, I mean, it's not a ton of great teams, right? If you asked a random fan how many teams from the AFC East will make the playoffs this year, it'll probably tell you one. But we still got to do the due diligence and go through the roster, everything, right?
Yeah.
So looking at it from your perspective, Coach, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, which one of those teams could potentially step up and give the Bills a run for their money?
Whew, that's a tough one, really. I mean, when you look at it, because, they all done made moves. They all done lost players. In the meantime, the Bills, they've gained players. Like last year where the Bills lost, had all that turnover, and everybody was saying that window closed and it's over for this Buffalo Bills team. But one guy that was still on the roster they all forgot about was the most overrated guy. They said it was in the NFL last year. Ended up being the MVP. So, with that now and the pieces that they were able to, bring in with this draft class, that's definitely catapulted not only the Bills as being the favorite in the AFC East for probably, the sixth straight year, but, a Super Bowl favorite. But I'm still waiting on the identity of the Bills being all in for a Super Bowl. Like you heard that out of the Rams when they was making their run. You heard that out of all the other Super Bowl teams. They were all in. You hear Philadelphia, they're all in to make a Super Bowl run because of the pieces that they have on their roster. I've not quite heard those specific remarks. Yes, the Bills are a Super Bowl contending team. Yes, they are a Super Bowl favorite. But to be all in for a Super Bowl,
I have a question for you.
It's a little different.
Because I agree with you. I don't necessarily want the Bills to go all in, push their chips in, like to the point where you leverage your entire future for it. Just one championship try or one or two tries.
Just for instance, with this roster right now, again, we all talk about what sticks out that the Bills could bring a player in to help boost that, right? We done with the receiver. You already heard what Brandon Bean had to say about the receiver. All right, we ain't gonna keep bitching about receivers.
I mean,
all right? In the words of Brandon Bean,
he got a fair argument.
We got some dogs. This is probably the best wide receiver core Josh Allen has had
In total.
Yeah. All right, we ain't saying in total. When I say a 6 wide receiver room, the best. And that's, you got Stephon Diggs, you got Gabe Davis. But this overall core receivers.
Right now, we probably have 7 or 8 capable wide receivers on our roster, and all of them can't even make it. So.
Right. They ain't going to make that, But not looking at that. To me, only concerns I have is that safety.
Yeah.
It's the safety is the biggest concern because you didn't replace your all-pro players. Now, can Cole Bishop come in and be that Poyer? You know what I mean? We know he's not a high. Can he be that Poyer? Can he be that guy in the box and come down and make those plays and learn from his rookie year, right? Rapp is the big question mark because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And great guy, great player, but when he's healthy, we see that. When you look at Poyer and Hyde, they was probably the most durable Warriors the Bills had on that team on the back end.
Couple seasons, yeah.
Kansas City attacked that when Tyler Rapp wasn't playing in the AFC Championship game, right?
They attacked the corner.
They attacked the corners. They attacked the safeties. That was the game plan. And that could easily be the same game plan going into this season because that's a weakness to me, So
safety,
when I say
not corner anymore,
not
but
corner,
safety,
not
yes.
corner. So when I say as the Bills going all in, just if a Justin Simmons can be available,
That's
or
fair.
Julian Black,
I don't even consider that going all in though.
But
That's an Eagles move.
But hey, when you bringing in a namesake person such as a Justin Simmons,
It's gonna cost a bit.
the caliber of player, the talent, you're all in for a Super Bowl.
Okay.
That means we're all in. We didn't cover all bases.
Yeah.
When you look at positional groups, they didn't cover all bases. They have all pro dog damn near at every positional group
Except safety.
Except safety.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing. Not to say that those guys aren't able to do the job. They are. But, it's nice to have, an all-pro back there that could ease some things for everybody. And, a guy like Cole Bishop can learn from that. But, again, we do like Jordan Hancock. He is my dark horse.
You took the word. I was literally waiting for you to finish so I could say, keep your eyes out for Jordan Hancock.
I mean, because it's a method to Brandon Beans and Coach McDermott's madness now. It's a method to it. And let's keep in mind that Coach McDermott was a walk-on safety at William & Mary, and he became a stud there, right? So it's a method to the madness, and we know how Coach McDermott feel about those safeties. So for them not to really pull the trigger, it's saying right now they have a lot of trust in Cole Bishop. They trust their guys, obviously. DeMar Hamlin, he's been there since day one, right? These are guys that they know that they can trust because of the system.
I just don't know what they've done to garner that much trust.
They know that they know the system. Now, are they the most athletic in that system? Are they the most playmakers in that system? No.
It's like, I'm not mad that Cam Lewis is on the roster every year because I know that obviously he works for them. He's a good locker room guy. He knows the system, et cetera, et cetera. If Cam Lewis was my starting cornerback tomorrow, I'm going to have a problem. So I understand where you're coming from perspective, especially team building, locker room presence, all that. But if you're just being real, and this isn't even a slight at the players themselves, but when you're going up against Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, Taylor Rapp, it's not cutting it.
He's not even there.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on the field, so we can't even have that, not even cutting it. He wasn't even available to play. The biggest game of the season, it's not available because of injury.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that, that kind of ties a team hand, and force that you're forced to go out there with a rookie and, a backup in the most important game of the season.
If we would have had 1 second-round pick last year, and it was the late pick, Cole Bishop would have been our highest drafted player. Keon Coleman was our first pick by like 20-something picks, right? Cole Bishop was the next guy. You got to step up, man. Like, you're essentially, you are a top 2 pick. You know what I mean? So you have to step up, take that role by the horns. I mean, goodness gracious. It's kind of like the Dalton Kincaid thing, right? Stephon Diggs leaves, you primed to just go nuts right now. And then you kind of, you piss the bed a little bit, and it's like, wait, what? How did, you know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing for Cole Bishop, where I'm like, I don't even see him on the field, which is very discouraging because Sean McDermott will give you a chance, especially when he doesn't have a lot to work with. You know what I mean? So if I don't see him on the field, he's not even getting reps, and I'm like, oh. I don't know.
Well, training camp is going to show a lot, but I'm quite sure that scope is definitely going to be at that safety position. Are those guys, giving Coach McDermott what he wants? If they can't, then again, yeah, you go out and get those all-pro veteran guys. You bring them in for that 1 year, and, hopefully, things can materialize the way you want them to be. But yeah, that's the biggest question mark going into camp defensively is that safety. I know we want to gear that towards that, but safety is definitely still a concern of mine.
It absolutely is, because the only other position where, like you mentioned earlier, where you don't even have a Pro Bowl caliber player, it's probably wide receiver, and that could potentially change if a guy goes off, right? And not only that, but that's a thing where you can kind of create like a community of receivers. To work together to accomplish the goal, right? You can't bring on three safeties.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can. You can.
Not to cover for one position.
You can. But the X factor again is to your guy Hancock. How is he going to fit? Will it be Hancock and what will be the tandems? Would it be Hancock and
I saw a lot of Christian Bifford
Bishop?
in this film. I saw a lot of Christian Bifford in this film.
You did?
Hancock, that was what made me, because
But he's a big nickel in safety though.
You remember when Christian came out and I told you he might be on the practice squad this year, but he's going to make the team next year, right? Or no. I said he was going to be a starter in his second season. He became a starter in his first season.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be a starter.
So no, I'm talking about when he got drafted. Just from watching his college film, I was like, oh my God, he's certainly going to make the team. He's going to be a starter in a year. He became a starter in his first year.
Wasn't going to be no starter in his second year.
Right.
So he was.
I'm looking at Jordan Hancock and I'm looking at his Ohio State film and I'm just like, it's a lot of that same, ball hockeyness, just being around the ball, making plays. You know what I mean? It was I saw a lot of the same similarities that I saw in Christian Bifford. And all right, I was right about Christian. Hopefully I'll be right about
Bifford had 14 interceptions.
Talk about a ball
out of college.
Ball hawk.
14 interceptions in the college career. Okay, that's damn near 4 interceptions every year. All right. With the size, he was a perfect scheme fit, so that was spot on by the Bill Scout team on grabbing a guy in the 6th round, and now he's one of the top defenders in the NFL, right? So they're good on that, but that 1st and 2nd round, they haven't really been hitting. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the crazy part about that. They're good in the meat and potato rounds, but that 1st and 2nd is hit or miss. You know what I mean? It's hit or miss. But again, safety is just the biggest question mark. Going into training camp, I'm going to be really focused on that matchup and seeing are they getting what they're needing from that safety position. Is Coach McDermott full at what he sees at safety, going into this season? So that'll be something definitely to focus on. But, something that we definitely don't really have to have too much worries about is the offensive side, right? Josh coming off the MVP season, James Cook having another 1,000-yard season. Shout out to him for being top 100.
Yes.
For all those who don't think that James Cook isn't a top 10 running back.
Top 100 player.
He's a top 100 player. So he should automatically says he's top 10.
More than 10 positions. So
right. But out of those 10, it's not going to be 10 running backs in that top 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's letting James Cook is a top 10 back just because he's not top 10 in yards. All right, he's top 10 in any other running back statistical category that matters other than the yardage. So shout out to, my boy Cook. Keep cooking. All right. Keep cooking, James. Keep cooking. All right. So offensively, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the wide receivers. Elijah Moore.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
I done told everybody about this. They starting to see now by little off-season tapes. I told everybody. I said he's a Stephon Diggs type of player. He's just shorter, but he's way faster. He can run all the routes. He can get the separation, and he has the speed to blow the top off of any defense. That was another steal by Brandon Beane. So it's like he's what, the 4th, 5th guy?
Yeah.
He's 4th, 5th guy.
Pick.
When you look at the top 3, it's Keon Coleman, Shakur,
Yep.
and who's the other wide receiver that would be in that sauce right there? Palmer.
Palmer.
Maybe Palmer.
Chenault,
So all this your three.
Yeah.
If we in 11 personnel, your three wide receivers, Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, Khalil Shakur.
and Elijah Moore. And then, yeah.
If we 11, we going 4 wide receivers for sure. No, you still got Curtis Samuel.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is the
Got
best
Curtis Samuel.
receivers.
That's
that
what I'm saying.
Josh ever played with,
This
for sure.
Bills wide receiver core is deep. So, man,
I forgot about Curtis Samuel.
Curtis
Jesus.
Samuel. Let's not forget, he's 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Who's the number one? When we convene in 20 weeks and we look at the season, or probably like 24 or 25 weeks, when we look at the season and we say, yo, wide receiver number 1 for the Bills, he was a consistent target for Josh Allen.
We already know that.
1,000-yard season.
We know who that is.
1,000-yard season.
He's going to get 1,000 yards this year. It might be
think
a
I
few.
know what you're
There's
gonna
going to be
say.
a few guys.
I think I know
going
what
to
you're
get
going to say.
1,000 yards
I'm
from
not
Josh.
100% positive.
Well, we know it's Khalil Shakur.
Okay, all right.
Khalil Shakur. I mean, he just got the contract, so it's not like his numbers is going to decrease. He's going to, be a little bit more involved, and he was receiver number 1 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So his role does not change. He is that safety valve for Josh. I mean, anytime Josh throw the ball his way, it's like, 95% catch rate,
Yeah.
some ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
So make no mistake about it. Even if he is a slot receiver, Khalil Shakur is wide receiver number 1. And that's cool because guess what? It's going to take the pressure off of Joshua Palmer in his first year within this offense. It's going to definitely take the pressure off of Keon Coleman. We could really see the better version of Keon Coleman year 2. And then again, you got those intangible guys in Elijah Moore and Curtis Samuel that's going to bring that speed element, to run underneath. So, I mean, I'm really excited just to see what Coach Brady is going to cook up. I know everybody eats again part 2, but how are you going to have the right personnel groupings out there when the game really matters the most? What are you going to put out there? Because somebody's going to be left out. And we all know who was left out on 4th and 5 last year. It was James Cook and it was Keon Coleman. That can't happen this year if the game is on the line. You know what I mean? Especially with James Cook. There's no reason for him not to be out there when the game is on the line. So that's going to be the biggest question mark for me from an offense perspective is what did Coach Brady learn from this previous season that's going to help him a little bit more when it comes to personnel and in certain situations, who is going to be that personnel that you're going to rely on to go and get the job done, right? I don't care how much you're paying the guy, right? The best guy's got to be out there, all right? Just because it's a certain package or whatever, no, you got to make sure if he's not in that package but he's in the floor of the game, guess what? He got to be out there. You know what I mean? So I see Josh, duplicating the MVP season with over 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. I mean, I want to see the big arm in Josh. This is what we drafted him to be. Like they talked about it, the big arm, the big arm, the big arm, the big arm. When are we going to really, use that big arm? Bills didn't take too many shots down the field last year. We got a quarterback with the biggest arm in the league. Now you got the speed guys to go get it. You got any type of wide receiver that can match Josh's arm strength. So I want to see the playbook open up a little bit more shots downfield. You got Keon Coleman, all right, who's a 50-50 ball specialist, basketball player. We can take some more shots down the field. You got Joshua Palmer who can get the separation
specialist.
You got Elijah Moore that can blow the top off the defense. So you got James Cook, who's one of the top 10 running backs in the NFL. So that run action with your athletic, mobile quarterback with a strong arm.
I think we can fairly put James Cook top 5. I think that's fair.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
but everybody going to say, well, he don't pass block. He's not top 10 because of that.
Would I like him to pass blocker? Yes, but I'm not worried about it.
Okay, you got to improve on that.
I'm not
Like you
worried
tell
about
me who's the best pass blocker in the NFL.
I have no clue.
Is that
I have no idea.
Is that a stat? Like you go to the Pro Bowl because
Kyle
you're the best
Juszczyk,
pass
probably.
blocker. And there's so many empty packages now.
Yeah.
I don't get that part.
So the reason I asked you who will be the Bills' number 1 is because I see 3 Buffalo Bills wide receivers who have the potential to be the breakout number 1 receiver, 1,000 yards, 100 catches, and I don't think it's Khalil Shakur. When I look at Khalil Shakir, I see Lad McConkey, I see Julian Edelman, Danny Mendola, that type of, you know what I mean? When I look at Palmer, Moore, and Coleman, I would like it to be Coleman because he's a draft pick, of course. Those three, I see potential star potential, right? So it's like Palmer, he played with Justin Herbert, right? But he had to play behind Keenan Allen. He had receivers ahead of him. He couldn't really get his shot. Now you're going to play with a guy who's probably 2 to 3 times better than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a poor man's Josh Allen. So you're going to play with the real thing now, right?
This is not a fire drill.
No.
This is not a fire drill. It's definitely the real thing.
You're going to play with the real thing. You're going to have weapons all over the field. So they're not going to lock in on Jordan Palmer.
Right.
It's the opportunity to get separation to solidify yourself as a top 32 wide receiver in this league, right? Keon Coleman, second-round pick. We had the conversation earlier about Cole Bishop. You got to step it up. I don't think Keon Coleman necessarily has to step it up. I feel like he just got injured and bad luck.
Yeah.
But he was balling before that.
Right.
I say it all the time. If he has a game, or if his average game can look like the game he had in Seattle, he's an all-pro wide receiver.
Right.
He went crazy in Seattle. Embarrassed one of the best cornerbacks in Tariq Woolen. Regularly in that game, pushing him down, mossing him, didn't matter. Like, he did whatever he wanted to do.
We call that
he has the strength, he has the size, he has the skill set to be a great player. We talked about this before. When you looked at what his quote unquote strengths and weaknesses were from a college analysis perspective, his analysis was almost bar for bar, word for word, the same as Justin Jefferson's. I am not saying Keon Coleman is going to be Justin Jefferson. I'm just saying he could be. He could be something-ish of a Justin Jefferson.
Absolutely. I could say more of a T. Higgins.
Okay.
I wouldn't say a T. Higgins. I won't be mad at that. I mean, he's making $30 million a year.
For a reason.
Right? So I can say utilize that way. Keon Coleman will be definitely that top number 2 receiver. I see Keon Coleman, I say, fantasy purposes, right? We getting into fantasy where I say Keon Coleman projected anywhere between 60 to 70 catches this year.
Yeah. 60
to 70 catches, and he easily can get 1,000 yards. Depends on how he's used. If we get more deep shots down the field, that could definitely add to his total. So I see anywhere between 60 to 70 catches for Keon. I see his numbers doubling. I see his receiving yards doubling. I see his touchdowns doubling. I see his catch total doubling.
Between Coleman, Shakir, Moore, Kincaid,
Palmer,
and Palmer. Between those 5, we should not have a lackluster receiving year this year.
Oh, no.
There should be at least one of them that breaks out and goes crazy. At the very least one, if not split out between the 5 all going crazy, right? But we need to have at least 1 or 2 of these guys step up and say, all right, I'm the guy now. You throw to me, and then you look everywhere else.
It easily can be 5 receivers, maybe 6, with 50-plus catches, from Josh Allen this year. It easily could be that way. When you even look at Ty Johnson's numbers and Ray Davis's numbers, from a running back's perspective, if you add up all those catches between Cook, Davis, and Johnson, that was damn near 60 catches, just out of your running backs.
Yep.
So it can be done, especially because we got the quarterback to do it.
Yep.
Right? And then the system is, just get open. And Josh is going to find you. But I do want to see more primary. I want to see more primary targets for Keon Coleman. All right? That 1 and 2 target a game stuff is that's how can you get in the rhythm? How can you get involved in the game?
One of them is a back shoulder fade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to get Keon Coleman more involved. You draft him as your top pick last year. You got to get him involved. I get it. You don't want to come in and start throwing X amount of targets at him like he was Stephon Diggs. I get that. We over that now. Now we want to see more targets. We want to see that production because He's ultra athletic, right? So we need to see that because that's what this Bills offense need. They need athletic playmakers to make plays for your quarterback. We know we got it in the running back, but we need that in the wide receiver core. Who is our playmaker? That's going to be out of this wide receiver core. Is it going to be Elijah Moore? Is it going to be Joshua Palmer? Is it going to be Keon Coleman? All right, we know what Khalil Shakur brings to the table. Out of those three, who is going to be, that playmaker for this receiver core?
I got a question for you. Let's say you take a look at the season last year that maybe Ray Davis had, right? Let's take Ray Davis. I feel like Ray Davis had a season where it was like, oh, wow. Like, you knew he was a good running back. Second round pick, obviously, he's a good running back. It was like, I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah.
Who is your Bills' offensive weapon that has that season this year where it's like he kind of comes in a little under the radar and then just pops?
I'm going to say Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
I can easily say Elijah Moore, right? Because everybody's ranting and raving about what he's doing right now. But I'm going to say Curtis Samuel because
I don't think Elijah Moore's under the radar, by the way.
Everybody's forgetting about Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that Curtis Samuel's not going to make this roster. Right.
Oh, no, I'm not saying all that.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fake news and stuff that goes out there that say, first of all, his money situation keeps him on his team this year.
Yeah.
Right? So if y'all didn't know that, Curtis Samuel's going to be on this team because of his contract or anything else.
That was my immediate thought when you said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, next year, yeah. But this year, nah. It don't make sense for the Bills to even try to move him because he was hurt most of the last year. So you can't look at it like.
And then once he got healthy.
When he got healthy, he showed you what he can do. Right?
He embarrassed the defensive player of the year.
Absolutely. He is a dog, but he has to be healthy for him to be the best version of himself. So, having another year with Josh, familiarity within the scheme, the playbook, what Joe Brady is asking for him, going into another year, you're going to see Curtis Samuel thrive this year. And then a lot of people is forgetting that this guy is even on a roster. You know what I mean? But yeah, we got another explosive piece that, again, is going to be an X factor. People's not going to, understand that we got Curtis Samuel on this team. It's going to be hard for defenses to try to get a pulse on what this Bills offense is going to look like on a week-to-week because of the many weapons that they have.
There's no way. And another thing that kind of speaks to that point, I think either Laviska Shenault or Curtis Samuel, I think you're going to see them playing a lot of HB. They may be in the backfield quite a bit this year because I feel like that's why they brought in Laviska Shenault because they wanted to do that with Curtis Samuel last year, but with his injuries, it was kind of like didn't quite get into that rhythm. But I think that's the offense they want to be, where it's like that Cordero Patterson offense. Remember when he was a wide receiver, like exclusively?
Slash.
Right? And then he started getting in the backfield a little bit, and now next thing you know, he's always in the backfield. I think that's kind of what they want to do with him, like a just to kind of a split back, get him running before the play.
Well, go 20 personnel. Well, you got James Cook, you got Curtis Samuel back there. You run Curtis Samuel in motion and check, see what those linebackers going to do. Either I'm going to give it to James or I'm going to go quick game, with the concept that I got on the motion side. So it's a lot of things that Joe Brady can be creative with the weapons that he has. So he has to play these guys to their strength, and maximize that, put those packages together and create those mismatches, that Josh Allen needs to, dissect defenses and score points.
Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, let's talk about what we actually were supposed to talk about first. We talked about the Bills' offense. I mean, record-setting offense last year, more touchdowns than any team in team history. Josh Allen, MVP, the most efficient season from a quarterback in NFL history from a not taking negative plays perspective, right? So you got a much more mature Josh Allen. And then you have a much more mature offense this year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who is a defense in the AFC East that can hope to stop that offense? And then
you said also, the AFC East?
We didn't talk about which AFC East team we thought was a competitor.
We did. Yeah, we just talked about it a little bit and dove off of it.
Because you got to have a defense to stop Josh Allen.
Right.
and then you got to have a quarterback to match or surpass Josh Allen.
No, I'm gonna say the Jets.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Jets. I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Jets because to me they have the most balance out of the three. You know what I mean? When you look at Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, who has the balance when it comes to offense and defensive pieces that kind of could withstand, what the Bills do, right? Miami has offense, not sure about their defense, right? New England, they have, I don't know what they really have. They got Stephon Diggs, Drake May. Defensively they got a few pieces. They still working. They still building. They could surprise some teams because they got better coaching.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a Vrabel fan. I like what he does as a coach. So that's definitely a big difference. But Jets, they have a little bit more balance when you look at what they have on the offensive side and what they have on the defensive side. That could hurt the Bills, right? When you look at the Jets on the offensive side, they receiving core, they okay. All right, you got Garrett Wilson, who's a stud over there, but you got Justin Fields now. You got a quarterback that could run, and sometimes that could be the Bills' Achilles heel. Mobile quarterbacks. They're not really accustomed to dealing with mobile quarterbacks. Justin Fields can kill you with his legs. All right, and let's not forget they do have some running backs back there. They got, Breece Hall. They got Braylon Allen, right? So they have some running backs there. And, they line is getting there. They got 2 bookends now. So we'll see, how that materializes with our defense, with our defensive line. And then on the flip side, when you look at the Jets defensively, Aaron Glenn, new head coach, defensive mind, played with the Jets. Great motivator. He's going to bring the best out. And he's a great coach that's going to bring the best out of that defense, right? Yeah. So that's why I would give the Jets the edge. You got Sauce Gardner. You got Q over there. You got McDonald on those guys. So I say they bring more balance, than any other team in the AFC East other than the Buffalo Bills. So that's why I choose the Jets.
Okay. I'm not mad at that answer. Only reason I wouldn't choose the Jets is because they have a starting quarterback who lost his job last year to a quarterback who may or may not be starting this season. So I look at Justin Fields, and I feel like that almost virtually neutralizes Garrett Wilson, right? Because you mentioned he's a runner more so than a natural passer. He can pass. I'm not saying he can't. I mean, he was a first-round top 3 pick for a reason.
Who was he throwing to?
That's fair. That's fair.
Who was he throwing to?
Wait, actually, no.
Who was he throwing to?
What's the name? DJ Moore.
Who?
DJ Moore.
No. Who was he throwing to in college?
Oh. He was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So,
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about
so
that
he's
connection.
back with his boys. So that comfortable now. I'm comfortable with the wide receiver. I probably wasn't too comfortable with DJ Moore. I know I'm comfortable. I can trust Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
So that's probably, you got that connection, right? So that's all a quarterback needs. He got a receiver that he can trust for one, and they build off of that. So that's why I say the Jets with that balance because they're going to help each other. They definitely going to help each other. Garrett Wilson and Justin.
I'm not mad at the analysis, but Justin Fields got to show me before I believe in him. Because I believed in them with Pitt, and I was like, "Oh my God, Pitt is about to be a problem."
But when you look at the quarterbacks, come on, we got Tua, we got Drake May.
No, that's what I was about to go to. The only thing, functionally, the organization, the Jets are not a good functional organization, so that also makes me not necessarily believe in them. But then also the quarterback's got to show me that he can do it before I just believe he's going to do it, right? With the Dolphins are a weird case because it's almost like they're actively neutering themselves, right? Like Tyreek went out, Jalen just got out. They brought back Minka Fitzpatrick, who ain't really the same Minka Fitzpatrick that they originally drafted, right? You give away one of the best tight ends in the league in Jonnu Smith, and then bring in Darren Waller out of retirement. I don't know what is happening in Miami right now, but I hope to God they fire Mike McDaniel because, A, he deserves better than that, and B, he's a great coach, and I think that the longer they keep him, the more he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to give him that chance. So I don't know about Miami. The defense doesn't scare me at all. The only player I'm even worried about is Javon Holland. Christian Wilkins. Oh, no, he don't play for them no more.
No, he's not. He's a Giants.
Yeah, that's
Javon
right.
Holland is out of there, baby.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, my goodness.
What are we doing? You
They
got
got Jalen Ramsey or
and Holland. Like, what are we doing over here?
Okay.
So that's
So not Miami. And then I look at the Patriots, right? Drake May is an up-and-coming quarterback. Reminds me a little bit of Bo Nix, where it's just like that raw prospect talent, can throw the ball, can
Can I
see
just
the
say
field.
this right now on Drake May? Drake May to me is overrated.
Oh.
I don't know where people see out of Drake May. They see the North Carolina stuff. I didn't see that when I was at the combine.
I didn't see it out of college.
I wasn't impressed at the combine.
Yeah.
I wasn't even impressed this season about what he was able to do. I want to see this year. Now, your sophomore slump, if you will, you got a true number one wide receiver. I want to see what Drake May has really built up, because it's a lot of hype to me. It's a lot of hype with Drake May.
Yeah.
All right, and they sit up there and said Josh Allen was overrated. Year what? 5, 6. Josh Allen was the most
Oh, no, that was last year.
overrated. That was
year 6.
last year. They said this about Josh Allen. You mean to tell me what we talk about with Drake May? To me, overrated.
So the reason I give Drake May the benefit of the doubt is because I heard a lot of people say that Josh Allen was trash his rookie year. But if you go back and look, Josh Allen had absolutely nothing to work with. I don't even think he was trash. I think he just literally had nothing to work with. So I don't know if Drake May. I've seen him make a couple throws that let me. Oh, okay.
Listen, let me say this about Josh Allen. Since Josh Allen was named starter of the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen has won 10-plus games every year as a starting quarterback. His rookie year, he wasn't the starter.
Yeah.
But since Josh Allen has been the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, every year has been 10-plus wins. It's been 10-plus wins Josh Allen has been giving you. And he said that right off the gate. We're going to get a lot of wins, a lot of them. And he did not lie about that. So I don't know where everybody starts talking about this guy is overrated
No.
or whatever.
I'm not saying that Drake May is Josh Allen.
Right.
So
Okay, Drake May, if you that good, like everybody's saying you that good, and Josh Allen didn't have too many pieces to work with his second year.
But the Patriots are putting the money where their mouth. They're like, hey, we think Drake May is as good as we think he is. Now go prove it. So I agree with your premise, but I think the Patriots are like, they putting the money on the table. They ain't back in. Like, they went and got Stephon Diggs, right? They got weapons for him. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in him. I think Stephon Diggs is probably a little past his prime a little bit. And he coming off an ACL. But I'm a Stephon Diggs hater. I'm open about that. So so I want to see him fail anywhere he goes.
Diggs my guy. You know what I mean? He just can't do it against when he plays us. Other than that, I'm cool with that. But 2 games against the Bills,
I don't care if you're playing
he
Chicago
straps.
Bears. I hope we get 3 yards.
you know it's going to be personal when he comes back here. I know it's going to be crazy. I wonder if he's going to throw any F-bombs, though, like how he did the New England fans when he was a Buffalo Bill.
Probably. They're
Might give a few.
probably a little disrespect.
I don't think so. He loved the fans here. I mean, he started kind of like a culture with going out there before the games, throwing the football around with the fans. So I don't think he would do Buff Bills fans like that.
I'm not about this.
Even though, he's the bad guy, he'll be the villain, but I don't think he'll do that. He has love for this family.
I'm not going to put too much smut on his character. I'm going to just say we'll see.
Right, yeah, right. He's already the bad guy right now on social media, off the field stuff. But other than that, I'm a Stephon Diggs guy. You know what I mean? He's gonna come to ball, and which is good though. That's what this Bills team is gonna need, players like that. That's gonna come back here and push that envelope to to see where boys is on the defensive side. We got that rookie over there, Mad Max. He's going to be going up against some top receivers in that division. You got Wilson, you got Waddle, you got the Cheetah, you got Stephon Diggs now. You know what I mean? So you got some perennial ball players that Mad Max is going to have to go up against, and I like to see those challenges, and that's going to bring the intensity to the defense. Because you got guys on that end that can make plays. So that's gonna make this Bills defense step their game up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we came into today's show knowing we were talking about offense, and the offense is pretty solidified, right? Best offense the Bills have ever seen in team history. MVP quarterback, most efficient, all that. But next week we talk about this defense.
Ooh, Whew, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Hell yeah, I'm excited.
Boy.
Basically brand new defense.
Brand new defense.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just got an influx of youth and athleticism,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put in a couple of really good guys on the shelf until week 7. Like, I mean,
Right. We got a lot of quality depth now.
a lot of quality depth.
Quality depth on both sides.
And that's gonna show up huge in the playoffs, and we'll see how that happens. But make sure
Definitely.
y'all tune in next week so y'all catch that episode where we go over the defense. We talk about some of these rookies, and you know what we expect from them this season. You got anything else you want to say before we get?
Man, I'm telling all fans right now, like, share, subscribe, BFBN, Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm telling you now, when the season starts, we're going to be doing some great and exciting things. We're going to be having Bills players in these seats right here. All right, you know, some of your favorite players. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It's going to be an awesome season. Come join the ride right here with us at BFBN. You know what I mean? We got Reed's Tea. All right, you get you some tea, come chill out, you know, and talk some Buffalo Bills with some of your greatest Bills content creators. So, again, BFBN, like, share, subscribe. This season is going to be phenomenal.
Keep an eye out on the Buffalo Fan Base Network Twitter page. We are giving away a replica Josh Allen jersey, not like the joints without the Bills logo on it. You know, we giving a real replica Bills jersey, Josh Allen, away. All you gotta do is subscribe to the Buffalo Fan Base Network YouTube page and screenshot it so we can see it. You'll be in the running to win a free replica Josh Allen jersey. So easy. I mean, it's easy money. You just gotta subscribe.
Yeah, we might give out a car. We might raffle out a car this year. Ain't no telling. So fans can get to the Bills game on time. All right, ain't no telling what's gonna happen with BFBN. All right, we're gonna be giving out away a lot of things. So make sure you like, share, subscribe.
For sure. That'll do it from us here at Buffalo Fan Base Network headquarters.
Right, headquarters. We'll
We'll see you guys next week. Go Bills.
Ready to say